So I have put off doing this video um, for a couple of days. One, because I'm enjoying my PG&E being back on, and two, because I wanted to gather my thoughts about this whole situation. Um, Let me just start off by saying the person that I appreciate the most on YouTube right now is Mary Greeley. Go to her channel. She does news every day. Of all kinds of important things, and I just love her so much. So go to her channel, Mary Greenlee News. She's been on YouTube for years and years and years. So here's how our experience went with this whole situation. Saturday at about 8:25 in the evening, they turned our power off. We live in a very small studio, I guess you could call it. We built it ourselves. And you know, we were semi prepared, but definitely not to the extent that we should have been. So our power was out the next day. I believe it was Sunday. We ended up not working that day. And then Monday, driving home, we left work early because we had no power at the house that we're remodeling. My husband's a contractor, and I work with him, so we remodel homes and do all sorts of handiwork and service calls for a realty company. On the way home, I caught footage of the Glen Cove fire that had just broke out. I'll put that video up. It's only 2 or 3 seconds long. It's very short. Excuse me. But I think the worst part of this whole situation was the fact that in our home and pretty much in Vallejo in general, where we live in California, we were unable to use our phones. We don't own a television, so we don't watch TV. We just use our phones for entertainment. We had no phone, no internet. We couldn't make any phone calls. Text messages would get through, but it would take like 5 minutes for them to go through. So it was really hard to communicate with family and friends. We had to drive several blocks down the street just to make a phone call, just to let family know we were okay. And the whole time, our power came on day before yesterday, I think. Or was it yesterday? No, it was the day before yesterday at around 3, 4 o'clock in the evening. So, like I said, being without power for a few days, that's nothing in comparison to what people are going through with these fires. But I just could not help but sit here and think, we live in the most technologically advanced age in history, and our phones were turned off. There was literally no communication. I heard some CB radio operators talking and saying that even their ham radios were down. So they really, really did not want people giving information or getting information. And I find that so suspect. I don't believe these fires are in any way a natural occurrence. I think most of them are being set on purpose. I think there's a 3, 4, 5-fold agenda here. It's a land grab. It's getting people down into the inner city so they can corral everybody into one area. It was really, really almost frightening, the entire situation, having my entire city shut down completely. We had to drive to another city to go get food. We were sorely ill prepared in that area. Not that we could store anything in the fridge. I have a gas stove, so that luckily I was able to still use my stovetop. Um, and we still had hot water. So again, I want to reiterate that, I did not have it terrible. But the phone situation and the internet situation and ham radio, that's very curious to me. I find that very um, diabolical almost. So that was our experience here. We made it through. The fires were put out here relatively quickly, although um, the area where it started was a subdivision called Glen Cove. And then in between that and Crockett, which is the next town over, it jumped an entire strait, an entire body of water, not a small little creek. We're talking a huge bay. So according to them, this fire jumped, a half a mile or more across and the winds were not that strong. They weren't. We had some pretty severe winds Sunday night, but that fire began at 9, I think 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. Monday morning. So I thought that was very curious. That is also not even a mile down from the refinery that blew up a couple of weeks ago. So, bottom line is, none of this makes any sense. And PG&E's criminality is just, I'm just amazed that I shouldn't be, but I am amazed that corporate America really gets away with this shit. All right, so that's bottom line. I'm going to leave the short, rather terrible video. I'm driving, so I couldn't film it for very long, of the Crockett fire, which looked eerily like the refinery fire the other day in the video. So, all right. And please go check out Mary Greeley's channel. Love her so much. God bless, guys.